Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I am doing the New York Times by the book tag. So this tag was created by Marie over on Marie Berg, whose channel and video I will leave linked down below. And I was tagged by Joss from Squibbles Reads to do this video, so thank you so much, Joss, for tagging me. And without any further ado, let's get into the questions. Question number one is, what book is on your nightstand right now? And for me, that is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. The dust jacket for it is sitting right back here because I am currently reading it. This book was on my list of top 10 books I want to read this summer, and I just started reading it yesterday, and I've only gotten like 1.5 chapters in, but so far I'm enjoying it and I hope to finish it within the next couple of days. Question number two is, what was the last truly great book that you read? For me, this definitely has to be Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I finished this book I think like a week or two ago and I fell in love with it. I honestly want to reread it already. This book was on my list of the top 16 books I wanted to read in 2016, and I am so happy that I finally read it. This tells the story of these two college students, Eli and Victor, and the two of them are roommates and they're pretty much friends. And Eli is writing a thesis on the existence of EOs, or extraordinary people, essentially people that have superhuman abilities. It essentially just tells Victor and Eli's story as they deal with this discovery of EOs, and I don't really want to say more because I don't really want to spoil a lot of the plot, but I will just say that it's absolutely phenomenal, and if you enjoy X-Men, I promise you, you will enjoy this book because you will get so many Magneto and Xavier vibes from this, because that is essentially what it is, and it's so great. Question number three is, if you could meet any writer, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you want to know? I thought about this question for a while, and every single time I ended up just coming back to the same person. That has to be J.K. Rowling. Honestly, getting to talk to her about the Harry Potter series would probably just be one of the greatest experiences ever for me. Also, I would ask her about the synopsis of The Cursed Child to see if it's real, because I don't know if it's real or if we're all just being trolled, and I honestly feel like it's fake and everything is just a lie. I don't know. And July is not coming fast enough, and I just need to read it already to find out, because I cannot believe that it's real. It has to be fake. It has to be fake. Question number four is, what book might we be surprised to find on your shelves? I thought about this question for a while and I really couldn't come up with anything. I feel like everything that I have on my shelves is pretty much what I would enjoy reading, what I do enjoy reading. I don't really like keeping books that I dislike, so I don't feel like there's anything kind of out of the ordinary for me on my shelves. Question number five is, how do you organize your personal library? So you guys always see this shelf, and obviously this one is organized by color. I have reds and oranges down to like browns over here, and then I have like some more blues and blacks on the bottom shelf here. And I have one shelf that is a series shelf, so it is just all of the series that I own. They're all just on one shelf together because I like keeping those together. Then I have another built-in shelf in my wall where I have an entire shelf that's just dedicated to my Harry Potter books. And then underneath that I have basically a shelf that is dedicated to my classic books that are all parts of like special editions. Then I have a third shelf that has different sections. So one of the sections has pretty much just books that are the first book in a series where I don't own the other books. And then on the next shelf I have some poetry and plays, and I like keeping those all together. And then on the last one I just kind of have like a random assortment of things, mostly books for school and like books on feminism. I have a lot of those there. So yeah, each of my shelves is organized a little bit differently, but I don't know, it works for me. I really like it. I like having the rainbow shelf. It's colorful and pretty to me, and then I like having all my series together and my classics and Harry Potter and everything. So that's pretty much the way I organize it. I enjoy it, it works, so it makes me happy. Question number six is, what's a book that you've always meant to read but just haven't gotten around to yet, or do you feel embarrassed by any book that you haven't read yet? There are lots of books actually that I have been meaning to read for a long time and just haven't gotten around to, but the one that just jumps to my mind first is probably All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I've been wanting to read this book for years now, and just for some reason I haven't been in the mood to pick it up, so I just haven't read it yet, and it makes me really upset because I have some friends in real life and I know several people here on BookTube who really love this book, so I feel like I'm probably really going to enjoy it as well. So hopefully, I don't think this summer I'll pick it up. I don't think I'm really in a historical fiction mood, but definitely this fall I think I will be picking this one up and reading it, because this one was also on my list of top 16 books I wanted to read this year, and I definitely want to complete that goal, so hopefully I get to this one soon. Question number 7 is disappointing, overrated, or just not good. What is a book that you feel like you were supposed to enjoy but didn't? For me, this hands down has to go to the most recent book that I read, and that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Now, if you follow me on Goodreads, you have probably already seen my super long review for this book, and I want to save most of my thoughts for my wrap-up at the end of the month, but on here I will say that I rated this book a 1 out of 5 stars. I did not like it at all. To me, this book was extremely problematic. I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the characters, and I especially did not like the theme at all, and I was really, really disappointed because I was expecting to love this book because so many people absolutely adore this book. I think this book has around 450,000 ratings on Goodreads, and it has an overall rating of I think 4.31 out of 5 stars on there, at least the last time that I checked. So clearly this book is very well loved, and I obviously was expecting to enjoy it at least to some degree since so many people also liked it, but that was not the case, and I will leave a link to my Goodreads review of this book down in the description because it's very long and it goes into more of my thoughts. So if you're interested in hearing every little detail about this book that bothered me, then you can definitely go read that review. So question number 8 is, what kind of stories are you drawn to, and are there any that you steer clear from? I'm a huge fan of magical realism, so if there's any book that has any sort of like magical aspects to it that takes place in kind of like a realistic world to some degree, I almost always want to pick that book up and start reading it. I'm just really drawn to magical books because I like the writing that they usually have. It's very lyrical and beautiful and whimsical, and I usually like the themes in the stories because they usually revolve around some sort of love, not always romantic. A lot of the times it's like familial. It's kind of like what Harry Potter is, like a magical type of world, and anything that's like that I will always love to pick up. As for stories that I don't tend to reach for, anything that really revolves around abusive or unhealthy relationships, I always try and steer clear from. There are several very popular books, even here on BookTube, that I've kind of put in my own like mental will probably never read pile because I have read several reviews and people have told me that they exhibit a lot of unhealthy relationships in those books, and it's just not something I want to read about, and I'm probably not going to enjoy them, so I don't find any reason to read them. So question number 9, if you could require the president to read any book, what would it be? If I could make the president read any book I wanted, I would hands down make him read Feminism is for Everybody by Bell Hooks. I honestly feel like everyone should read this book because the title says it all. This book is absolutely accessible, but it's also jam-packed with so much information that you will be learning without even realizing how much you're learning. Before I read this book, I was already very much interested in feminism. I hadn't really read much literature on it before, but I had made myself somewhat aware of a lot of issues and a lot of definitions and terms and things, and so when I had to read this for school, I really didn't expect to learn that much from it. But I was completely and utterly wrong because this book honestly changed my perspective on so many things that I had never even thought about before, and it's just so eye-opening that I think that the president would really benefit from reading something like this. And finally, question number 10, what book do you plan on reading next? And for me, this is Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This book was once again on my list of top 10 books I want to read this summer. I wanted to read something kind of magical and whimsical and something that I knew that I would probably really enjoy. So many people in the comments of that video told me that I'm going to love this book, so it motivated me even more to want to pick it up sooner, so that is what I plan on doing. So as soon as I finish I'll Give You the Sun, I will be picking this one up and hopefully flying right through it, even though it is kind of a big one. So that is it, guys, for the New York Times by the book tag. I do tag all of you who want to do this video to make it, or if you don't make videos, you can just answer the questions down below. I will definitely read them and discuss them with you. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!